Hi, everyone. I'm Steve. I'm here with David Wright, who is a personal trainer at Parkway Athletic Club and also one of our nutritionists, certified nutritionists for our weight loss program. So thanks for being here, David.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
All right, so we're going to talk about this is just a passion of mine. I want people to get fit. I want them to get healthy. I want them to eat right. I want them to have enough discipline to change their lifestyle and really change their life. So, we're going to talk about how to lose weight, simple ways. It's simple, but it takes some discipline. We're going to talk a little bit about our weight loss program. If you want to know more about our weight loss program, use the QR code or hit the description the link in the description. And that will take you to a page where you can fill out a questionnaire and we'll have the appropriate nutritionist reach out to you and tell you more about the program. So you and I talk about this stuff all the time. Also, if you guys like this stuff, we do interviews with nutritionists, doctors, subscribe to the channel. So you and I talk about this all the time. And it's amazing. If you guys go to that page, you'll see 3 pictures of David where he was kind of big and then he was skinny fat and now what he looks like now. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, David, about how this weight loss program works and why it will work for anyone. So it's about changing your lifestyle. And some people, and here's the big thing, you got to get some wins. You did that. You were big and fat and you
Yeah,
got some wins. You got to win one at a time, right? And that kept you going, right?
exactly. And I found that, when you get those small wins, that's what keeps you going. That's what motivates you to continue to get even more wins. And then you look back and it's like you've got a big win overall. But yeah, absolutely.
So what happens is you get addicted. You're in the gym. Hey, I got a little stronger. Hey, I feel a little better. Hey, I lost a little weight. I'm eating right. Then you're addicted. You're addicted to being healthy. You're addicted to looking better. And it's really fun, but you got to get those first wins first. So everyone is different. We talk about this all the time. Everyone is different. And that is where this weight loss program comes in. It's not easy, but tell me the first steps. Everyone needs a different amount of calories. Their macros need to be different amount of protein. We always say protein is first. But what is the first step in this program that someone would do to find out if they want to do it? And then take us from there. What's the first step?
So really the first step, which is the hardest one a lot of times for people is to say, you know what, I need additional help or resources to help me get, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever the case might be. Percent of people or more will be wanting to lose a little body fat or a lot of body fat, depending on the person. So the biggest step is, okay, I'm telling myself I need somebody to guide me. So that's where, of course, I come in and the nutritionists come in at Parkway Athletic Club is, you go to that QR code, that takes you to the landing page where we have a lot of information where those pictures are of me, kind of my transformation over the years from one extreme to where I'm at now. And then there's also a spot right there where you can put in your information, your name and, contact information, and either myself or another nutritionist will call you. And so that's the first step is really going, I need somebody, I want that information. Let's have, a nutritionist reach out to me and find out, what is it that I actually need? What will help me? Because there's a lot of misinformation on the internet right now. So when you do your own research, you certainly can, but there's a lot to go through and to kind of weed through what's true, what's not true, what'll work for you and what won't. Come to us. We'll help you through, what you actually need to do. You don't have to do the research. That's what we're here for. And so that saves you a lot of time and headache, but also will get you on the right track way easier than having to do your own research. So that first step is coming to us so we can sit down with you for an hour. That's what we do a whole nutrition consult with you for an hour and say, okay, you talk about foods you don't like, what kind of things you might be experiencing, tiredness, that kind of stuff. We go through all of that. And at the end, essentially what we'll do is we'll look at everything in total and say, okay, you know, this is our recommendation for either our 12 or 24-week weight loss meal planning program, based on what we learned from each other during that process.
Okay, so then it gets to what to eat. So you use an app for that, and everyone's going to be different. The amount of calories, their goals
Absolutely.
are going to be different. So then that's the next step, correct me if I'm wrong, would be what to eat. And there's even a hair analysis, right, to
Mhm.
help you or to help understand foods that you might want to avoid and foods that your body does like. So the next step is to individualize this on what to eat, because that's the big deal, right? What to eat. Tell me what to eat. And you want it to be flexible. You don't want this to be, you got to live a little bit. You want to like the food that you're eating. So that's
Uh-huh.
the next step, right? Determining what to eat and how much.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most common thing that I hear with people is the main reason why they're interested in nutrition or nutrition advice is not only because, well, I know I need to make a change, but a lot of times it's I've tried to eat healthier. I don't know what to do as far as how much to eat, what's good, what's not good, all those other things. So, yeah, so the biggest part is, we give you that information. So, in terms of the app, you're absolutely right. So, there's an app where you can access all of your meal plan, your grocery list. It divides, everything you're going to need to go buy at the grocery store. It tells you how much of it, all of that kind of stuff for the whole week. So you don't have to calculate anything in your head. And your meal plans, you're right. If something is, some crazy fad diet meal plan or something that's not sustainable, you're not going to do it. And so our meal plans are not those things. If there's somebody who has special dietary needs and things like that, those are things taken absolutely into consideration, and we work with those and we make sure that the meal plan fits that. But one of the things that's really helpful with that hair analysis test that you were just mentioning a moment ago that we do, and it's very unique around, especially here in Nevada, but many places also don't do it. But it's very good because it points out your food sensitivities, and that's important because as we're building your meal plan, if we have that information as well, that's going to help you feel even better because we're avoiding in your meal plan putting any of those things that might kind of potentially cause any symptoms to you. We're taking those out of your meal plan before you even see it. And that doesn't mean, oh my gosh, there's so many things gone, I don't have anything to eat. Trust me, you'll have plenty of things. And that's what this meal planning is about. It's not the same food every day, unless, of course, that's something you really wanted to do. There might be some kind of repeat meals, and there's different things. So it's a different variety. It keeps it interesting. There are people like me who I eat literally the same food 7 days a week, and I love it, but I'm a unique breed apparently because a lot of people don't like to do that, and I know that. So that's why when we develop this program, it's not that unless somebody specifically requests something like that, because we want you to be excited about it. We want you to say, you know what, I'm making this lifestyle change because that's exactly what it is. But I'm going to be able to stick to it because it's not something that is boring or I don't like the food, like you mentioned earlier. That's important. You have to like it and what you're eating. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. And either A, you wasted your time, or B, you wasted your money, or both. And we want you to be successful and do neither of those two things. So that's why we do a custom meal plan with your metabolic rate. So your calories that you need every day, we're going to know that information and we're going to base it off of that. So you're not overeating, you're not undereating, you're eating enough for your body to function and to lose that body fat if that's what the goal is.
Okay, so now to the success. How do we have success? It's kind of a simple thing. And you say, you'll eat the same food 7 days a week. I will too. My wife says, you'll eat the same thing over and over and over. I will do that because I'm eating a food that I know my body likes, that my body responds to well. We're not saying that that's what people on this program are going to do. But now for the success. It helps to have that coach to encourage you, to hold you accountable, to help you be disciplined. Because I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I can guarantee that people will get results if they do what they're supposed to. If they figure out what's best for their body and they do it, they're going to get results. And then maybe they're going to end up like you, to where you're just addicted to eating the same thing every day because you love how you feel, you love what it does. Your life does not revolve around the pleasure of food, but the power of food. So having that person there by your side, looking at what you're eating, and they got to show you what they're eating every what I think you meet with them every 2 weeks, right?
Sure do.
And then that's where the accountability comes in, where, hey, you can do it. And it's important to be honest. You got to be honest. You can't go eat a cake and then say, I don't know what's going on. I'm doing it. Look, if you lie to yourself and you lie to us, it's not going to work. So I guess one of the first things that has to happen is you have to want to do this. You have to want to make a change in your life. And this is something that, people have to change if they want to lose weight. If they're really big, if they're not healthy, they need to want to do it first. Because if you don't want to do it, don't hit that button.
Oh yeah, and part of that, Steve, is wanting to do it and making sure you're the one who wants to do it. A lot of people will do things and they'll say, "I'm doing it for this reason or this." You have to want to do it for yourself first, because if you're doing it for someone else or for a different reason, generally you're not going to stick to it because you're not the one who wants to do it for you. And so one of the things that I kind of want to look at as well here with our program is there's different apps and things out there right now currently where people will go in, they'll track their food, they'll try to track their workouts, all sorts of things, which is great. It's the first step. But one of the things about our program is within the app itself where you can get your meal plan and all of that, you stick to your meal plan, okay? And let's say it's your Monday meal plan, you've stuck to it and everything. A lot of people are saying, well, gosh, now I don't want to have to go to this other app and log all this stuff down and search and do all that other stuff. Well, guess what? With click and another click, that just gets put over into your food journal. What does that do? That means you don't have to go and put in a whole bunch of stuff, take up a bunch of your time, but also it allows for me, your nutrition coach, to go and look at how you've been eating and all that. And if you haven't eaten, yeah, you're right. One of the most important things is you have to be honest, because that's why we do the every 2 week accountability check-ins is, we want to know what's going on. How are you feeling from this? Because a lot of times if you have a really really poor diet and then you go onto something that's whole foods is really great, and you might have some transitional feelings along the way because your body's not used to that great food, and so there are questions you might have and stuff like that. So you're going to want to be honest about what you've been eating, how much of that you've been eating. None of our nutritionists are going to yell at you and make you feel any type of way because you didn't stick to the meal plan. What we're going to do is we're going to provide you the support that you need, that encouragement of, hey, you know what, let's get back on track. What can I do to help you get back on track and stay there? And that's why every 2 weeks during our program, that's why we're continuously doing these follow-up check-ins for accountability, but also for the support aspect, because a lot of people want and need that support. I've had people come in and say, I need somebody to tell me what to eat, and I need somebody to tell me what to do, and I need somebody to check on me because otherwise I may not fully go through this process. So that's what we do, and it's in a way that's supporting and encouraging, not like a boot camp, drill instructor and screaming at you or anything like that. But it's something where I've been there. So me as an example, I've been there to the point where you know I had to do something, and so I've taken myself to the opposite end, and I'm really happy with where I'm at right now. And so I like to have other people have that same feeling, regardless of what your goal is. The end goal should be the same for the feeling part. I want to feel better. I want to look better, feel better, have more energy, all those things. I know how that feels, and I know how it feels when you get there. So it's kind of a passion of mine to help people get there, and that's why I became a trainer and a nutrition coach, was to make that happen for other people.
One thing that you said that's really great about the system is it will automatically log your food, right?
Absolutely. All you do is click that day, hit journal, and then it'll take it all over to your food journal without you having to do anything. As long as you're sticking to your meal plan, you won't have to input anything yourself. It just takes it all over there for you.
And everyone's different. I know there's a lot of people out there listening to this that are frustrated. And I know so many people like, hey, I'm eating 1,400 calories and I'm 40 pounds overweight and I can't lose a pound. Okay. maybe you are, something's wrong. There is something wrong if you're eating 15, 1600 calories and your protein is up and your macros are good and you're eating healthy food and you're not losing weight, something's wrong. Maybe it's your hormones. So then maybe we may need to refer you to the right person who can help with your hormones or gut issues or something that to figure out what is wrong, because anyone eating 15, 1600 calories should be losing weight, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you said in the beginning, it's kind of individual in each person, but there are some great examples. One real quick, the one that I'll give you about that. I had somebody who her goal wasn't really to lose weight. She was actually a personal trainer, not here at Parkway, but she had come to get a resting metabolic rate service done when I was doing my business with that. And one of the things we discovered is her resting metabolic rate was about 100 to 700 calories. Very
Wow.
low. Yeah, super low. But the thing is she knew that she had, a thyroid issue. She'd already been getting seen for that and that kind of thing. She wanted to check. One of the things she was doing is number one, wanted to get her exact number, but also wanted to kind of check the accuracy of the information that we were giving because we were at that particular club at that time and doing that service, and that confirmed that hey, and she worked out 7 days a week. She's a personal trainer similar to myself, so constantly on your feet and demonstrating for clients, all those different things. So she was not a person who sat for 10 hours a day in front of the TV. So even if you're fit, or if you're not fit, either way you could have a thyroid issue or a bunch of other things. But if you're eating a lower calorie amount, the one thing I would say is, if you were losing weight and all of a sudden you plateaued, that's going to be different than, I started eating very few calories and never lost any weight of any kind. Like, I ate good food, I cut down the calories, and my weight's exactly the same. I don't understand. Versus, well, I cut down my calories, I lost like 2 or 3 pounds a week, and then all of a sudden, boom, we're done losing weight. Because I've had that here at this club and talking to some people about nutrition, and it could be, what, you're under eating your calories. But what we want to make sure of is people are kind of guesstimating how many calories they're eating. They're saying, oh, this is probably X amount, and they could be severely underestimating the calories that they're eating if they're not paying attention to it. So again, that's where the meal plan comes in. Follow the meal plan, how many calories, all of your macros, all of those things. You don't have to calculate any of it. All you have to do is just make the meal plan as it's written there, and it's done for you. So then you know the accurate amount, because a lot of times when people say, oh, I think that this portion is 500 calories of what I'm eating, in reality it might be 1500 calories because of things people added, or they just aren't actually measuring it. So let us help you with that so that we take that off your plate.
Yeah, I think one thing that surprises people is the sauces and this and that. And it's like, wow, that wasn't even food. And that was 400 calories.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the worst things.
The salad dressing. Yeah, not only was it 400 calories, it was bad calories.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys, if you want to know more, hit that link in the description and find out more. Our passion is to help people, I guess, get addicted to being healthy, right?
Yeah, and I would add one more thing, Steve, to our program here. So, I'm located in Carson City at Parkway Athletic Club. So we do them, different aspects of that in person here. But if you're nowhere near Carson City, heck, maybe you're in New York City or some other place across the country, across the world, really, we can do those virtually, remote sessions, and we've all set up for that. So if you're not able to come in here, then that's okay. Then you see, me or one of our nutritionists just like the same every 2 weeks. So start your journey, get it started. That's the hardest part, is just starting. And one of the things to just start with is nutrition. If you started with exercise, great. Continue with nutrition, because that's what's going to, take you further in the long term as well, along with your exercise.
Yeah, and everybody subscribe to the channel. I want to start doing more videos where we just help people and give them, it's all about health, but especially diet and exercise. So subscribe to the channel. And if you want to know more about our weight loss program and compare it to other weight loss programs, you can always go check out. I believe you should be checking out multiple different programs that you can get involved in and different people that you can hire just to make sure you are positive that this is the way that you want to go. David, thanks for being with us. We're excited to get this program going, and I will
Absolutely.
talk to you next time.
Thanks, Steve.